Yeah, hi there, this is tuxocher.com again. Welcome on my video channel. Today we are early in the year, but the next, I think, vacation is like Easter and so on, and I want to talk about how to back up your video clips and your images during a tour or a vacation. You can see here I've put a couple of items here on the desk, and of course we will take care of all those items here. First of all, some of the system cameras have two slots for the SD cards, and in most cameras you can manage that every image and every video clip can be backed on the second slot, so you have a first backup of your images or your video clips. This option is a little bit limited because most of the cameras have different speeds of performance on the slots, so you can back up video clips with higher bit rates, but maybe if you're taking images only, that is a good way for you. As I mentioned before, I use the SD card treasure, sort of, where I have my SD cards in a certain order, and I only get the first one out of it for the camera, or the first two ones, and then the one I filled up, which are taken out of the camera, are in order as the last SD cards in this treasure, and that's most important. I don't delete or format the SD cards right away, so I will keep them in this box. And that should give me a certain amount of time where I can go back and still have my images or video clips on the SD cards. But nowadays, most of the cameras, or higher potential cameras with fast frame rates or enhanced video capabilities, will have only one SD card slot and one slot for CF Express. So you have to use a card reader or a CF Express reader. The most common one is, of course, here taking a laptop here, like the MacBook Pro, and if you have a SD card reader here on the side, that should do the job, at least for the SD cards. But of course, for the CF Express cards, you need an extra reader like that one here, which is also have the two connectors, that is USB-A and USB-C. Maybe you have only SD cards, and maybe a SD card reader like this one. I hope it focuses. That's a very tiny thing here that has USB-C on that side and USB-A on that side, and here in the center of this device you have the slots for SD cards and micro SD cards, which are often used for action cams or like the DJI Pocket I own, or drones. And from this one you can also copy your images and video clips over to a laptop or PC. But sometimes it's not possible to take a laptop or a MacBook with you, and then you can use a device which you always have with you, and that should be the cell phone, like here. That is enough to copy your images, at least. Let's take, for example, this tiny guy here, put that in, and then you could copy the images or video clips from the SD card to the internal memory of the iPhone, so you have at least the first backup. And you could do the same with the CF Express cards if you don't have too big in size video clips and so on. But what you could also do is, at least from a tablet or here from the iPhone again, is then to move or copy those images and video clips from the iPhone or from a tablet to an external hard drive that could be like that one here. That's just a simple external box where there is just a regular crucial SSD in there. Or you could use, like here, a Samsung T7 for this purpose and copy the images and video clips from the internal memory to the external hard drive, and then you would have a first backup. You could also use, like I have here, that's the external enclosure from ICbox with NVMe inside of it. But this one had the problem that it takes too much power from the USB-C connector, so you won't get a connection with the tablet or with the iPhone. If that happens, it's mostly because the tablet or the smartphone wouldn't provide enough power for an external NVMe drive. You could use a device like this one here. That's external sort of mini hub here. It has HDMI, which you probably don't use. It has a USB-A where you can, of course, connect your drive to. With a little adapter you can even connect a USB-C drive here. And the most important part is this one. That's a power delivery USB-C connector where you can power up your device at the same time where you're copying the images from the internal memory to the external drive. That would be one option, and it works pretty good with the iPhone and also with an iPad tablet. And the last option is most of the Android systems, either smartphones or tablet, have the option to add a micro SD card as a sort of internal extended memory. So you could copy the image and video clips from the SD card or from even the CF Express card to the internal micro SD card if that is big enough, so you have a first backup of your images and your video clips. The last option, I don't know if other cameras provide this setting. That is what I used a couple times already with my Lumix cameras here, especially the S1 II. And that is the ability to copy the images and video clips right away from the camera to an external SSD drive without the help or the need for a iPhone or a tablet. You just choose the playback menu, and there you find an option to copy those files if you have connected a USB SSD drive to the camera. Then you can copy right away either only a couple of images or video clips or a complete folder or even the complete media from the SD card and or the CF Express card, which is pretty convenient if you can do that even without the need of a smartphone or a tablet. Okay, that were my remarks on backing up your images and video clips while you're on vacation or smaller trips and so on. And if you have any questions on this topic, you might place them here in the comment section of the video or the comment section of the corresponding blog post. And if this video was sort of helpful to you, you might think about placing a like on the video, and it even would help the channel a lot more if you don't forget to subscribe my channel. Okay, that was my remarks on backing up the images and video clips to different devices. And all I have to say is till the next time, ciao, Tux Oche.